Welcome, everyone. This is Brenda Selden. Welcome to the Message and Healing Circle, where I channel messages and healing from the travelers, interdimensional beings that have come here to Earth to help us in our evolution and in our ascension on our path towards the stars. So, tonight, the topic that the travelers gave me was they want to speak about what they call the Ascension. So at this time, I'm going to just tune in. And they're also suggesting to me that everybody that is watching and listening can also tune into the energy of the message and even the message itself, possibly. But they're asking that everyone please start to tune into the message part and not just the healing part as well. Welcome, fellow human beings. We are happy to be with you today. We see for you the beginning of the road towards your path to what you call ascension. Oftentimes, we will use words that are part of your culture, part of your collective understanding, rather than the use of our words, which may have no translation in your world. So this concept of ascension, we perceive that energetically to mean for you the ascensions of your body from the physical to the energy form, and the ascension of your mind as well, a path of evolution through which your mind begins to travel beyond this physical world known as Earth and begin to connect to the aspects of the greater universe at large. And today we wish to distinguish between the mind, the body, and the spirit. For your minds are the aspect that we wish to work with today. At times, your thoughts are like anchors, holding you down in this reality, in this existence, and not allowing you to expand your understanding and your perceptions into a wider expanse of understanding, into the wider field of being. And by that, we mean that it is through your mind that is the portal through which you can travel and experience other dimensions. Your body can as well, but that can only occur with the help of beings outside of the human race for the most part. There is a small group of you that exists at this time that can shift your physical bodies and not just transport your spirit energy selves to other places. And these humans are the examples of what you will all become in the future. But today we shall deal with your mind. Your thoughts are your anchors. They establish you in this world. They help you to navigate within this realm. But at the same time, many of you depend on them and believe them to be the one and only true reality. What most of you have learned in this existence is that the world you navigate is the one and only world that exists, when in reality, there are multiple and myriads of worlds that exist side by side by side to yours. In reality, there is no directionality. It is not as though there is a world to the left of yours or to the right of yours or above you or below you or behind you or in front of you. This aspect of directionality, linearity, does not exist within the system of dimensional traveling. And so, where you sit at this time, it is the same point where another universe exists as well, or many universes. When we first came to this dimension, this earthly realm, we had told Brenda that we were based upon your moon, upon the dark side of your moon. In reality, that was our entry point, but it was not our physical entry point. It was a point where a portal was established that would connect our dimension to yours. And since that time, we have created a portal upon the land where Brenda inhabits. And now we come in through that portal. And in reality, at this time, not only Brenda, but all of you and all over the earth, we, the travelers, exist alongside all of you, although invisible we may be, although the majority of you may not sense us. And so there may be billions of us to your billions, but we are all together, yet not impeding upon one another, because we exist together, but not in the same time and space point. And in entering our dimension, there is no time and space. And so at this time, we would like you to place your awareness upon your mind. We would like you to imagine your physical brain. We would like you to imagine its construction, and this is Brenda saying, I keep getting the word nodules. I don't know if that is something within the brain. Maybe it is the closest word I can come to, but in the manner that the brain is areas of curves and dips, they are showing me that this brain, the most important part in reality, is not so much the neurons. What they're pointing out to me are the cells, all the cells of the brain that makes up the entire brain. So it would be the flesh matter, the neurons, the nerves. They're showing me all the cells. And normally we picture our brain in the color pink. And they are showing me the entire human brain lit up in all the cells, almost like the birds. We are told, they're showing me, and I know this as well, and I know most, if not all of you know this as well, how birds navigate the earth, that they have a little bit of hematite in their brain and it acts as a compass. And what the travelers are showing me for right now, they're explaining it to me via images with energies and not speaking, is that our whole brain is lit up. All the cells act as that piece of hematite in the brain of pigeons, and I don't know if all the birds, but definitely pigeons, and that our brains can translocate. I guess they're using the word trans because trans is in between. So locate those in between, those access points between the dimensions. And they're showing me that we must disengage from the thoughts, and that actually our brain is a mechanism in and of itself, like a compass. It is a tool. And if we allow our brains to They're showing me energized, light up, almost through the sense of understanding that it is not the thought process, for we are not thinking ourselves into this other place. Rather, first we are locating it. They're using the words bilocation, meaning that we locate ourselves here and we're also at the same time can locate ourselves there. And it is through the brain that is the actual mechanism through which we can sense and we can follow and we can enter. We can enter this other dimension through our mental processes, but allowing the brain to act as a compass, allowing the cells. And how do we do this? And the travelers are speaking again. Today we understand that the human brain is a compass, that all the cells have been preset. And they're using the words preset almost like pre-programmed. The cells in the brain have been preset to bilocate. So bilocate, they mean for us, we can be here and we can be in another dimension at the same time. Your brains have been activated by us. And then they're showing me that our brains already have that capacity, but almost this activation is a way of energizing it, powering it up, something that's there. And as you know, when I do the healing, that I always repeat what the travelers have told me, that they've come here to awaken dormant abilities in our DNA. So some of these dormant abilities are, one of them is our brain acting as bilocators, compasses for us to enter other dimensions. And they're showing me certain parts of the brain are there to work with this specifically. And they're showing me that prehistoric humanity, and by prehistoric, I don't mean just, I don't mean Homo sapiens, but they're showing me even pre-hominids, the species that evolved and became Homo sapiens, that this part of their brain just acted in a natural way, was activated. And it's almost a sense because they were such a part of nature and the world, there was no sense of individuation, that there was no sense that I am part of this world, but I am separate, I am me. There wasn't an aggregated sense of me, that this ego of me has separated us from the rest of the world. And so it's almost like a water droplet in the ocean having a sense of itself, and in doing so is part of, but consciously separate also from the ocean while it's in it. So being a natural part of the ocean, our ancestors had no sense of separation. So naturally their brains were it was activated where they wouldn't have known that it's other dimensions, other aspects of being in this world. But that is how they were able in part to sustain themselves. There would be a sense of using this bilocation, not just to travel between dimensions, but to also be in two places at once, at least through knowledge on this earth. And they were able to hunt and help them sustain themselves better because they were able to sense where they were now, and they were able to be in sense and receive knowledge of, for instance, a herd of wild cows that they could hunt and then that they could harvest for themselves. So hopefully this makes some sense. So now we're going to do the healing to activate and work with this. And they're saying these are baby steps. So today it's the understanding. It is the brain itself. It is not so much the thoughts, because we have really evolved our thoughts to really be very much about me, I. And that is not the purpose. When we allow our ego, the aspect of I, to, when we release it, when we allow it to go away, then we can allow the brain as a tool, as a compass, as a bilocator to activate and just be part of the whole and be able to be in more than one place at once. So before we begin the healing, if you are new, please give permission to the travelers to heal you, to work with you energetically. Please, for the next 30 seconds, take a few moments to ask for the healing that you need for yourself or for others, understanding that those people, it could be animals, it could be places, that they will be asked permission by the travelers energetically. And if they agree, it will be received. And once that is done, in another few seconds, I will begin. And they will lead us on today's healing and activation journey. Fellow humans, you are asked to lie back or lie down in whichever manner you most feel comfortable. You are asked to take a breath through the nose, bringing it down into the abdomen and releasing it through the mouth. At this time, we will surround you with what you may consider to be a dampening field around your mind, almost like a blanket made of cotton, to gently dampen the thoughts, quiet the mind. And they are giving me the image of water being poured in the summer on the outside, on the ground, and watching the water being seeping down into the ground, disappearing into the ground. So it's this sense of your thoughts quieting and being absorbed and seeping downward, so that they are not front and center, they are quiet, and they are not in your way. And once again, please imagine your brain, see its shape, see its color, the pinkness, and there is almost a glistening color to it, a shininess. And the brain, like the heart, has its own pulse, has its own rhythm. And you may be able to begin hearing it, but hear as it beats and it contracts and releases. You may hear a thump, 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 thump. For the brain has its own heart, or is its own type of heart. We as the travelers consider the word heart to mean an access point in the physical body for the energies of the world to come in through. And so the brain has its own type of heart. And the brain also exhibits its own form of magnetization. And as the brain beats, its heart contracting and expanding, It is awakening each cell. It is awakening its magnetic energies. And feel this. Imagine this. Imagine your brain. Imagine it's beating. Imagine hearing the slow and steady thumping rhythm. And every time it contracts and expands, and every time you hear a beat, the brain slightly grows and expands. And at its center, there is an area that is slowly opening up and allowing for the creation of its space. Breathe and sense this as it is happening. We'll take a few moments to allow the process to take hold. You may feel a slight sensation in your physical head of the brain expanding closer to the sides of your ears. You may feel that this space in the center is creating a funnel upwards through your crown chakra at the top of your head and outwards through each ear, and outwards through the front of your head and through the back of your head. And this is a vortex that is expanding. It is expanding outwards in these different directions. It is a pathway to a different dimension. Allow the energy to begin to activate more quickly, more strongly. There may be a sense of a swirling sensation. There is more than these funnels reaching outwards. Their numbers are limitless, but to begin today and to help you to understand and connect and feel the direction and the existence of it, we have chosen these points. For in your minds, you will be able to follow them and explore. So at this time, there is a ball of energy that is manifesting in the center of your brain. And you will see in your mind's eye release a ray of energy from it that will follow in one of the directions that we have just described, upwards or to the sides or to the back or from the front. And each one of you shall sense it going in a different direction. It is the direction that you are attuned to most. In reality, every day, every moment, for the majority of you, you are unconsciously connected by the smallest thread to different realms. And these connections change as you change your physical location, as the energy within you changes through your mental, emotional, physical, spiritual. And they are using the word paradigm. As that changes, each change creates a new combination that connects to and reaches another dimension. And so by connecting to it does not mean that that dimension opens. It means that there is a sensing of it. And at this point, the sensing is held very deep within, and it must be activated, and it must be exercised, and it must be worked with. So at this time, we ask you to center your awareness to the center of your brain and see this space where the energy has been activated and follow through as it bursts forth. In what direction does it go? Follow it. And there will be a portal there to another dimension where you will briefly be able to enter it and experience it. So for the next few minutes, we will support you in doing so. At this time, please go forth and explore this. What you may experience is you may sense all around your body a different energy. You may receive an image in your mind of that space, of that dimension that you are in. You may feel an upward motion, almost a swaying or even slightly dizzying energy, as many of these different dimensions do not resonate, do not vibrate at the same frequency as the one you are in. Feel your whole body. Feel and take note how it is feeling, how it is reacting. Today's experience may feel very slight and minuscule for you, for we are just beginning today. But that slight connection is not a slightness in connection, it is a slightness in awareness. For you must turn your conscious mind, and now this is where the thoughts come in. The brain has created the entry point, allowed for it, found it, and now your consciousness, your thoughts can follow and can begin to understand and to take in. And to create information which now you can store information on what you are feeling, what you may be seeing, what you are sensing. And this information becomes memory, and this memory becomes cellular memory. And when we create cellular memory from experiences, we strengthen the connection to that experience, which at this point means creating a stronger bond to that entry point, so that we may return if we wish, so that we may open it for ourselves, hold it open, and enter. Continue to experience this for another few minutes, and then we will show you how to return and how to close that entry point. At this point, the dimension, the As you know from our last circle, we call dimensions fields of consciousness. And at this point, the field of consciousness that Brenda is connected to, she is currently hearing at a very, very soft sound volume. She is hearing the voices of the beings of that world. But we are not at this point encouraging you to connect more. We are merely asking you to connect to and hold the barest of entryway to these other dimensions or fields of consciousness. And now imagine it to be a doorway, rectangular, its opening rectangular in shape. And now imagine this rectangular shape shrinking and diminishing in size, getting smaller and smaller until it is the smallest of points. And at that point, it is closed and it disappears. And you find yourself once again in this field of consciousness solely. And many of you may still be feeling the vibrational energies from that connection, from that other field of existence, that other field of consciousness. And that is quite all right. It will dissipate. In the meantime, allow it to be with you. For it is from that other realm, it is a composite of your energies meshing with and reacting to the other energies. And we suggest if you are to try this for yourself, again, the point of awareness, the central idea is to see your physical brain as a compass, as a tool that is magnetized to many different points of entryways, to many different fields of consciousness. And if you choose the directionality of one, please at this time open the doorway, but do not step through it. Allow the energies of this other dimension to mix with yours. Feel the barest, the surface of this other plane of existence. For in our next circle, we must speak of the different possibilities of what you will encounter and how to safely do so. And this is part of the ascension process. Ascension means the reconnection of all the divergent parts back into the one. The conscious knowing of all the divergent parts, conscious knowing and connecting to all the other parts, so that we may all know of one another and come together as a whole in love and in peace and in joy. Once again, we thank you for coming today, and we hope to see you again next week. Thank you. This is Brenda Selden. Have a good night, everyone.